Welcome back to ESA Summer Online. We are raising money for Alzheimer's London. Links to donate can be found below the stream or by typing !donate. We would also like to thank Kaspersky, Twitch, and Usonic for sponsoring this event. Now it's time for Ulvind running a Taxi 3, or should I say a Taxi 2. Take it away, Ulvind.
Indeed, Taxi 3. So, welcome everyone. My name is Ulvind. I'm a Frenchman with a distinct English accent, which in France is also called a fraud. And I'm going to play Taxi 3, so if you want to understand what this game is about, because it's mostly a French game, French memes, etc. So it's a licensed game released in 2003 from the French movie of the same name, which was released in late 2002. This movie was actually produced by EuropaCorp. You might have heard of this studio because they're the ones who did a movie called Lucy. Might be familiar to you. It's pretty much a racing game through and through. You're controlling a taxi during the 10 missions that we will have. We will have 10 missions in total. And the cutscenes are actually excerpts from the movie itself because, well, the video game is pretty much a tie-in with the movie. So we're going to do every single mission in order. So we have all these missions right here. And we can actually start the timer in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So, I think a lot of you don't know what this movie's about. Like, all these movies are about. And let me do some catch-up to you. So, in all the movies, or at least the first 4 movies, there's this guy called Daniel. He's a taxi driver and he loves to go fast. And what basically happens is that in the first movie, he's caught by the cops, speeding at like 215 km or something like that, and is forced to either work for them or lose his taxi license. And what happens is he helps the police during solving certain crimes, and what happens is he's paired with a pretty inept police officer called Emilien, who does not know how to drive in the slightest. And together they will try to solve crimes in the city of Marseille. So, yeah, you can see here my little jersey from the Olympique de Marseille, so the club of where this events take place. So if you remember a movie called Taxi, starring I think Queen Latifah, and that takes place in Brooklyn. That's the US adaptation of these series of movies. And the game we're actually doing here is an adaptation of the third movie, where we are supposed to defeat a gang of Santa Claus led by a Chinese woman. It's a pretty weird plot. There's also like a whole side story about Emilien, so the policeman's wife, getting pregnant. There's a lot of things to talk about in this movie, but a lot of it's mostly B plots. And in this first mission, we have to bring a secret agent to the airport. And little fun fact here: the beginning of the movie is basically this first plot. Daniel has to drive this secret agent to the airport, and the secret agent in question is played by none other than Sylvester Stallone. That they have to dub over because he couldn't speak French like at all, which is it's really amusing. And we are already arriving on the second mission. You will notice already a couple of things that are wrong with this game. I'm really proud, by the way, to open this meme block. And thing is, one of the main things that characterizes this game is the loading screens, like the loading times. The loading times are just absolutely abysmal. And I think you noticed in some things that the AI is completely random and will decide to ram into you at pretty much any time without you being able to do anything about it. And yeah, you can see the speed of our taxi is actually 220 km/h. It's really 220 km/h. Even if the sounds of the car suggest that we are actually driving slower than a tractor. And yeah, you can see that the speed of the other cars is weird. Oh, and here's the garbage truck. So the garbage truck will be pretty complicated to avoid, mostly because there's a lot of rubber banding for this AI specifically. That's why. Yeah, we're basically being rammed into at 220 km/h by a garbage truck. This, I'm telling you, this is a wild ride. Okay, we're going to go on a certain path to make sure that the garbage truck hits us as few times as possible. So you can see here there's somewhat like a gauge of like a health bar, pretty much. And if this health bar is depleted, the mission is over, and we have to retry it. So that's why I'm going to take it a little safer during this end of the mission, and there we go. And
do we have time for a donation?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry. Wonderful, because we have a $100 donation by Osoko without a comment.
Oh, nice.
We have a $120 donation by Mr. Titan, saying, "For the mistakes Kaya made in FF13, here you go. Thanks for having us, and good luck to all the future runners." And we also have a $200 donation by Kaya Rune himself, saying, "As promised, I'll donate $50 per death in my FF13 run earlier. So here you go. I'll put this towards naming the Crystal Chronicles character 20. Thank you very much for all of your generous donations."
So yeah, as I pretty much didn't explain, this game wasn't released on only the GameCube. Oh my god. It wasn't released on only the GameCube. It was also released on PC and PS2. And the difference between the PC, PS2 versions and the GameCube version, because the PC and PS2 ports are exactly the same, but the GameCube is slightly different is in that the oh my god. The UI is, like the user interface is way prettier in the GameCube version than the PS2 version, which like basically the loading times, everything. Also, the loading times in the GameCube version are way larger than the PS2 ones. And in the first two missions, which we actually passed, the speed of the taxi is actually capped higher in the PS2 and PC versions than on the GameCube version. Oh my god! See, when I told you the cars, like the behavior of the car is completely random, I was not joking. And yeah, the taxi is slower in the first two missions. In that the max speed of the car is 220 km/h in the GameCube version and 230 km/h in the 230 km/h on the PS2 and PC version. And you can see here. Okay, good. That was close. And you can see here that we have a boost, and we had on one of these missions to go faster than 245 kmh on the radar, which is a little bit counterintuitive. Like, you're supposed to not go faster than the radar. And yeah, you will see certain things that I will explain in this next mission regarding the boost mechanic in this game, because it's a wide ride. Really, it's a wide ride. And first, instead of being capped at 220 kmh, we capped at 255 kilometers per hour. And there's one thing that if you boost too fast for long periods of time, you will actually damage the car even more than just driving normally. And there's a way to actually make sure that the gauge on the left, the gauge on the bottom left, is never completely full, because when the gauge is completely full, it means you're going to actually begin to lose some HP. And you see the lights for the boost flickering on and off. It's because I'm mashing the A button, and by mashing the A button, we conserve our speed. We can conserve our speed, but the gauge on the left never moves, and that's something that's absolutely extraordinary. Okay, so ooh, that's bad. Going to try to go on this ramp right here. Okay, sure thing. And oh my god, yeah, that was to be expected. Yeah, the car can actually tumble right around. It's a weird game. Okay, so here's the mortal enemy of every speedrunner, the autoscroller. And in this mission, we're supposed to follow this Santa Claus disguised guy around the city. We're going to... And the thing is, we cannot go too fast or too slow, because there are some passages where he actually goes faster or slower. Okay. Just stopped in the middle of the road, because why not?
Do we have time for a quick message?
Sure thing.
Wonderful, because with those huge donations that we're getting in, both of our Goat Simulator incentives are now met.
Nice.
So, yeah, very nice. So, the next incentive coming up will be for Disney's 102 Dalmatians,
Ooh.
Puppies to the Rescue, named Priscilla the Pig's birthday present. It's Priscilla the Pig's birthday, and we can bring her a gift. Or we can ignore it, save the frames, and make her sad. So if you want Priscilla to get a gift, we will need another $95 for that. We're currently at $5 out of 100. So please keep the donations coming, just like Mr. Titan, who sends another $20 saying, I can do math, here's the missing 20. So thank you very much for that.
Okay, so here, this mission is pretty simple. So I'm pretty much going to explain what is happening during the game. So in the game you have a system of lives. You have 3 lives at the beginning, and if you fail a mission, you're just sent back to the beginning of the mission with 1 less life. And if you happen to lose your 3 lives over the course of the run, you actually have to restart the run all over again. But to be fair, when you finish the game once, you can pretty much do any mission, and it will not be even the slightest of problems. During this first mission, it's pretty much, yeah, going as fast as we possibly can, and oh, another autoscroller. trust me, this is definitely not the last Elder Scroller we'll see in this game. And there again, I'm actually not boosting because you really don't need to boost in these missions. I'm going to be pretty careful there. There we go. Oh yeah, I didn't explain the fact that when you actually ram into a car, there's this like sort of bullet time that you enter, and that makes you lose like probably 4 or 5 seconds. And yeah, it's extremely inconvenient when you want to speedrun something. And in this mission, we had to save Emilien, who got kidnapped by the Santa Claus gang, and we had to track the mastermind behind the gang here. And in this next mission, we have the second boost, which is going to be unlocked. And instead of having our top speed capped to 255, our top speed will actually be topped to 305. And our objective in this mission is to use the power of this boost to the maximum, because we have to pass in front of the radar in about like 60% of the level above 295 kilometers per hour. And I did say above and not below. So this is the moment where you're pretty much forced to use your... But then again, we're going to be... Oh boy. Okay, good. Oh my god. Never mind. No, please. Okay. So we're arriving already. Oh, okay. So you can see here that the gauge on the left was starting to get a little full. So we would have a little sound playing that I don't hear because I'm not hearing the game. But if you actually have this gauge for too long, you will start to lose HP. And if you start to lose too much HP, you will have to restart the mission. And there's pretty much... There's not much else to say. We're just following the Santa Claus gang to the mountains this time. Like to the mountains way outside of Marseille. So, not much to say for now. If you want to plug anything, like sponsors, donations, go ahead.
That sounds good. So let me remind you that all donation revenue from ESA Summer Online goes towards Alzheimerfonden, the Swedish Alzheimer's Foundation. Alzheimer's is the 6th leading cause of death in the United States. On average, a person with Alzheimer's lives 48 years after diagnosis, but can live as long as 20 years depending on other factors. Alzheimerfonden's aim and purpose is to increase fundraising to the benefit of scientific research in order to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. I can speak English sometimes.
Oh my god. Okay, so here we are in the mountains, and yeah, if you know about ice, it's pretty slippery. So the controls on the car were starting to get a little bit more complicated to manage, especially at this speed. And I have to stop at certain points, because if you go too fast, you will actually trigger air time, and if you trigger air time, you will actually trigger a bullet time, which loses time again. Okay, and good. And not much else to do. We're starting to see a lot of things that we already saw in previous cutscenes. It reuses a lot of cutscenes, you will see that. And yeah, one thing is that it's still pretty, realistic. This game is still pretty realistic, because the faster you go, the more uncontrollable your car will actually be. And you will see that especially in this mission, because in the first part of this mission, we are thrown in a snow rally race where we have to go, well, we'll have to at least go into the checkpoints faster than our opponents there. Into, oh, okay. Going to brake a little bit. There we go. Because if we were full speed in this, the air time in this section will actually make us go into bullet time. Yeah, this happens as well, because the car will just ram into you and boom! Completely thrown off your track. Oh boy. Did not notice that I was a little too high on the gauge there. Okay, going to cut tight. There we go. And guess what? It's an auto-scroller again. Oh boy. Ooh, this one is... I will have to play it a little safer this time. Because you can see I have only 4 HP left, which is... not a lot. Okay, we're going to stay... I'm not going to stay too far from him, and not going to stay too close either. Okay. We are arriving near the end of the level already. Going to boost a bit to make sure we arrive. There we go. And, yeah, you will see that the logic in this game will slowly starting to go off the rails, especially with this next mission. Because in the first part of this mission, because we will unlock something right there, if you actually noticed real quick, it's caterpillar tracks. Because there is so much snow that we cannot continue any further and we have to switch to caterpillar tracks. And now that we have these caterpillar tracks, we can actually boost up to 305 kilometers per hour in the snow. Which is a totally logical thing for a game to do. And we're going to see... pretty quickly there. We're supposed to avoid these blocks of ice that are falling. It's supposed to be avalanches, but I don't know why, but seems like they had some trouble animating avalanches in this game. And the first part will be pretty much to avoid... It's exactly the same thing that happened in practice. And here we will try to avoid those blocks of ice. It's supposed to be blocks of snow, but they don't know how to design snow in this game apparently. And here we will arrive. It's not the timing in this. It's not completely. It's not completely undoable. Ooh, it's probably too fast here. There we go. And guess what? We will arrive in the next part of this track after the checkpoint, where we have another auto-scroller. trust me, this is the last one in the game. This is the last one in the game, trust me. So we're going to follow this snow plow, because yes, this is a snow plow. And one thing that differentiates the other missions from this one is that the snow plow is awfully slow. Like, it's awfully slow. You can see I'm generally topping at 200 kilometers per hour. And this one, I think I'm like 150, roughly, during every single part of this track. There we go. Oh, this one is going to be... And you can see in this mission that we actually have the caterpillar tracks that we gained, but it's shown as having put on after the mission, because why not? Because why not? I mean, it's just... The game is just that. It's just because why not? So, we're going to just wait for this 9th level to arrive. This one is, like, this 9th level is my favorite. It's definitely my favorite. You will see why. You will see why it's a pretty funny level. Because it requires us to go down this track, pretty much drifting, accelerating and braking all the way. It's a very fun track here. And it's a track where you have a lot of inputs to do to make sure you don't, like, hit too hard here. And still keep a reasonable speed. So I will try to keep it a little bit serious during this mission. So if you want to plug anything, donations, sponsors, yeah, go ahead.
Wonderful. Please let me remind everyone that with your donations, you are also eligible to win one of our wonderful prizes. We do have a Houston Elite XG270 QG monitor. These monitors are really fantastic. For a minimum donation of $30 accumulative over the whole marathon. We also have a Nintendo Switch donated to us from our sponsor Kaspersky for a minimum donation of $50. So if you want one of these prizes, please keep your donations coming. And if you don't know where to put your donation towards, we do have some wonderful donation incentives that are yet to be met. So, for example, during the coming night, we have a run of Resogun, and you can choose the costume of the humans that the runner will be saving. So there are 4 choices. We have either living costumes, ninjas, pirates, or zombies. And none of these options has yet to see a donation towards it. So everything is very easy to snap.
All right, thank you everyone for actually following this marathon. So this is the last mission of the game, and we have the 3rd and last level of boost unlocked just for this mission, just for this last mission, because why not? And this time, instead of having a speed of 305, our top speed is 355 kilometers per hour. And yeah, we will try to use it at our maximum during this last mission. But it will be pretty hard to actually make sure that we are at 355 during the whole mission. Because there's so many things that can go wrong. Oh. Especially with the traffic RNG. Okay, so you're going to... Oh. Because yeah, the faster you go, the more uncontrollable the car will be. And it will be very complicated to actually make sure that we have the best trajectories. And yeah, we are actually peaking at 350 right now. Well, we were peaking at 350. Oh boy, the sun. Oh my god. One thing here also is that the sun, for some reason, shines in, like, right in the line of view, which is absolutely atrocious. Because you have to avoid everything while being completely blinded by the sun right there. Need to slow down a bit. There we go. Like I said, the reason why we slow down is basically that else this 90-degree turn would be completely impossible to avoid. Oh, okay, good. So we are nearing the end, so just going to do a couple shoutouts. Shoutouts to the French community. So I think they're all watching this run right now. And yeah, it's going to be... It was very fun actually playing for ESA. And opening for this meme block at least. And... time! So yeah, it was really fun actually opening for this meme block, opening for this event, and yeah, I appreciated the opportunity. So you can see like the French flag behind me, etc. And I had a lot of setup for this, and I was pretty nervous going into here, but it went out alright at least. So yeah, thank you ESA for actually receiving me for this run, and maybe I will see you next time. See ya.
Thank you so much for the run, Ulvind. Before we go over to our intermission, we have a last donation from Sturk, giving $50 towards Alzheimer Fonden, with no comment, but his bid his money goes towards the Super Mario Galaxy 2 Perfect Run Showcase.
Nice.
So thank you very much for that. And with that, we'll be in a short intermission before Munch Mobile by Eero Kirkiswo. And I hope I did not butcher that. So see you soon.
See ya.